I'm sorry. Good evening. I would like to call the January 13th, 2026 regular city council meeting to order. Roll call, it appears that all are present. Please rise. Mr. Hicks, can you please present the invocation?
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you today. Thank you for every day. We just give you all the thanks for the many blessings that you bestow us. I want to thank you for the time that I've served here. I want to thank you for the individuals that are about to take the seats up here on this dais. I just pray that they will continue to look out for the citizens of Cibolo and all of the citizens of Cibolo and their community. Because Cibolo is not just one little city, it's the community and the outreach. We got to pray for our first responders and our military personnel and their families, that they continue to provide the protection and the safety, the fire safety, the emergency safeties that we all look forward to. And we just lift you up, Lord, for everything, that you be the one that gives them the decision in their hearts to make the correct decisions for this city. And these things we pray. Amen.
Amen. Well, now the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We will now begin the recognition of service for Councilman Robert Mahoney. Us, the community, and we deeply appreciate you and know. Next, we would like to recognize Councilman Joel Hicks.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for everything you've done for the city. Been around here forever, Mr. Hicks. And I don't think there's a board you haven't served on or a place you haven't been. And we appreciate it very much. And I will carry it forward, sir.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
And now a tribute to Mr. Hicks from Ms. Sanchez, Councilwoman Sanchez-Stevens.
Yes, I just wanted to say thank you so much for all of the years, don't do that, all of the years that you have served. I don't think you all are aware of how often he has driven around your neighborhoods, every major road. He knows every pothole, he knows every curb, everything that needs to be tended to. It's been amazing to watch you as a council member, because you truly care for our city. It's beyond what words can describe. You really have set the example of what it is to look out for our community. I have learned so much from him in just what it takes to have proper infrastructure. What we should be looking for, what we should be expecting. And I just feel that the insights that he has brought forward also in the past, because he's been here for what?
I've been going on since 2007. I
Since-
started coming to council meetings. Yes.
So he has seen Cibolo grow. He's been able to attest what has been, what is, and looking forward, what has been promised to us. And he has been able to help us hold those things accountable to make sure that we're getting those. He also helped with getting 1103 worked on. He also helped with funding for our trail system that's going to be here. So when it comes to work, he has done a lot of work for us. And I just want to say thank you so much for caring a lot for our city, caring for our community, and caring for the people in it. We appreciate you so much, Joel. Thank you.
I would like to say something briefly about Joel. We all have people in our life that are present. And I think in this city, Joel is present in every way. MPO, ACOG, the Senior Center, TML. He is present in all food distribution, in all aspects of our community, serving all kind. And while no good deed goes unpunished, he keeps smiling and showing up. So I would like to thank you for your years of service. And I know that we will continue to see him serving this community. Thank you, Joel. He's going to do a speech.
No.
I'm not do a speech, but I can't get a picture of this.
Well, there's been many ribbon cuttings I've attended. There's been many things I've done for this community, and I will continue to serve our community in any capacity. I'm on the AAMPO, the Alamo Area Metropolitan Planning Organization, to make sure we get funding for the roads, for trail projects, for sidewalks. I just, a little bittersweet today. I want to thank Summer Brown for running. It's her third time, second time. But I know that she's ran. I think she will. She has big boots to follow in, but I know that she can do it. She's a woman of character, a woman of faith. This is me as a man of faith, doing stuff for my church all the time. It gives me a little more time to do that for my church. But I want to thank you for stepping up. And I'm glad that you won this spot, and I think you'll do wonderful things, just like you, Ms. Patterson. Thank you for your getting out there and getting elected. So we thank you for that, and just know that we are the go-between the staff and the citizens. We are. They work for us, and we work for them. Just remember that. Always remember that. We work for the citizens, not for the staff. And I just want to thank y'all. I'm going to miss this, but I've loved every minute of it. I know that there's been ins and outs, and we've had our differences. Jeff, I appreciate you running. I know that we've had our differences, but I do appreciate it. Mr. Mahoney, Katie, we've gone through stuff. Norma and Donetta.
And I thank you for being there for me.
And I just want to thank all of y'all. I know that y'all continue on, work for the citizens. Thank y'all very much. Thank y'all. Appreciate it.
Okay. Now the very exciting night is 6, the oath of office. Ms. Simmons, could you please present Marissa Allen Patterson with her oath of office?
So Marissa, once we start this, if you'd raise your right hand, and when I say state your name, just state your name. Okay. Okay. Would you raise your right hand and repeat after me? I state your name.
I, Marissa Ellen Patterson,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the duty of City Council Member,
the duty of City Council Member,
Place 3,
Place 3,
for the City of Cibolo, Texas,
for the City of Cibolo, Texas,
and will to the best of my ability
and will to the best of my ability
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution,
the Constitution,
the laws of the United States,
the laws of the United States,
the state of Texas,
the state of Texas,
and the city of Cibolo.
and the awesome city of Cibolo.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
And if you wanna hold this and get your picture taken, because that's your oath.
Okay.
Ms. Simics, could you please present Ms. Summer Marie Brown with her oath?
Family can come up too if you want.
I thought we would do the pictures after we. It's okay. Ms. Simmons, could you please present Ms. Summer Marie Brown with her oath of office?
So you just repeat after me. Raise your right hand. Okay. If you raise your right hand, repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Summer Marie Brown,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the duty of City Council Member,
the duty of City Council Member
at large, Place 7,
at large, Place 7,
for the City of Cibolo, Texas,
for the City of Cibolo, Texas,
and will to the best of my ability
and will, to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution,
the Constitution,
the laws of the United States,
the laws of the United States,
the state of Texas,
the State of Texas,
and the City of Cibolo.
and the City of Cibolo.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. Here's your oath of office. So you can hold it with the picture.
To honor the oath of office for both Councilwoman Patterson and Councilwoman Brown, we will recess for 10 minutes for family photos and congratulations. Good evening. This is your 2-minute warning. Good evening. This is your 2-minute warning. This is your 1-minute warning. All right, thank you very much. We had a little bit of a technical difficulty, and I just wanted to make sure that our new council persons had the correct name on their voting. Before we start into 7 citizens to be heard, I want to do a small amount of housekeeping. Ms. Thimmix would have sent you a letter, or an email about item 14. And so I am inclined to provide for the business owner to not discuss this item. If we, and barring any council objection, is everybody okay with dismissing this for item 14? Yes?
Yes, do we need to make a
I
motion
just-
to do
It's the
that?
business owner's decision.
Okay, it's the business owner's decision, but with your approval. Okay. All right. So we have a general consensus that that's going to take place. So at that item, I will say, okay. Now, moving on to 7, citizens to be heard. This is the only time during the council meeting that a citizen can address the city council. It is an opportunity for visitors and guests to address the city council on any issues, to include agenda items. All visitors wishing to speak must fill out the sign-in roster prior to the start of the meeting. City council may not deliberate any non-agenda issue, nor may any action be taken on any non-agenda issue at this time. However, City Council may present any factual responses to items brought up by citizens with a limit of 3 minutes each. All remarks shall be addressed to the council as a body. Remarks may also be addressed to an individual member of council, so long as the remarks are about matters of local concern and not disruptive to the meeting or threatening to the member or any attendee, including our staff. Any person violating this policy may be requested to leave the meeting, but no person may be requested to leave or forced to leave the meeting because of the viewpoint expressed. This meeting is live streamed. So I would like to call Raz Hernandez. Raz Hernandez. Okay. Seeing no response, I will move on. Calling Maggie Tarrington. Good evening and welcome.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. What a happy night. Let me just say that. Wow. I want to first thank Mr. Reed and his staff. We had our first leadership core class here today. We were actually in this room just a few hours ago and just learning about Cibolo and all the developments and how efficient the government is run here through council, through city management staff. We got to tour the animal facility and hear about the new one that's being built. We almost left with 4 dogs, but not quite. We didn't have room in the cars, but I do have video. The puppies were adorable. But just thank you so much for giving us that time. It was really important. And in fact, some of my leadership core classes here, and they'll come before you and say a couple words, one of them being a Cibolo citizen as well, who, and I'll let her say whatever she's going to say, but she was just really impressed with what she learned about her city. On this Thursday, we have a mixer here in Cibolo. It's our first quarterly mixer for the chamber. It's at the Ready Room, and it's from 5:30 to 7. So hopefully, if you all would like to come out there, please do come out there. On the 28th of January, we have our first business education class, and this is going to be on AI. A lot of questions, a lot of concern with businesses. How can I use AI? Is it ethical? How can I make my work be less by using it? And so you're going to learn techniques, tricks, helpful suggestions, and that is from 8 to 11 a.m. on the 28th. You can register online. The class is almost filled. Last but not least, on the 31st, we have our Living Well Health and Home Show. This is sponsored by Methodist Hospital Northeast and totally free to the public. There's going to be free flu shots. There's going to be free health screenings. There's also the health of your home. We'll have local plumbers, repair places, roofers, all kinds of services for your home. And again, it's from 10 to 1, totally free. It'll be at the Schertz Civic Center on the 31st. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next I call Kate Dyermore.
That's good, guess.
Thank you. Good evening and welcome.
Evening. Thank you so much. My name is Kate Diermond, and I am the Cibolo resident, and I am attending the Chamber core class, leadership core class. So we just wanted to, again, thank your team for hosting us today, and what a wonderful experience it truly was. And we were really impressed by how the city of Cibolo is run and managed. So thank you all for your time and all the work that you do to make this community as wonderful it is. So thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, and now Victor Vivanegro. Victor Vivanegro. Okay. And Mr. Joel Hicks, Citizen Hicks.
Citizen Hicks, I like that.
Welcome. Good evening.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. As there's no surprise, I'm sure you've seen my name out and about. I'm running for Commissioner for Precinct 4 for Guadalupe. Just want to let y'all know that I'm sure y'all did know that, but want to announce it to everybody. So I want to thank you and would love to have y'all support those that can. So I appreciate it. Thank y'all.
Thank you. All right. I am going to read 8, which is the consent agenda. All items listed below are considered to be routine and non-controversial by the council and will be approved in one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member so requests, in which case the item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered as part of the order of business. 8A, approval of the minutes of the special council meeting held December 2nd, 2025. 8B, approval of the minutes of the city council meeting held on December 2nd, 2025. Approval of the minutes of the council. Okay. 8C. Okay. 8A was of the special council meeting. 8B is of the council meeting. 8C is approval of the minutes of the city workshop held on December 9th. 8D, approval of the minutes of the city council meeting held on December 9th. 8E, approval of the minutes of the city council meeting held on December 22nd to canvass the results of the runoff election held on December 13th, 2025. And 8F, approval of the quarterly investment report ending September 30th, 2025. To be clear, there is approval, 8A, approval of the minutes of the special council meeting held December 2nd, and 8B is approval of the minutes of the city council meeting on December 2nd.
I would like to ask a question, if possible.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. On number D, where it's just for the council meeting December 9th, I know that there was a discussion in regards to the dates for our holiday on the main, but I know that that date's been changed. Was the date changed prior to our meeting? Because I don't remember. Because I know we had brought up, why are we competing with shirts? Which that date that's in here still competes with shirts. So I would like to pull that so I could get that answer, please.
Okay, so what we need is a motion to pull that.
I would like to make a motion to pull letter D from the approval of city council meeting.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to remove 8D from the consent agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Do they need a vote on the machine? Okay. Any opposed? Okay. Now, do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda without 8D?
I make a motion to approve 7A, B, C, E, and F.
Second.
8, A, B, C, E, and F. Sorry. I was looking at the wrong first page.
Okay. I have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda 8A, B, C, E, and F. And vote. Okay.
Second Saturday.
Okay. You got it? Okay. Thank you.
That's what we agreed to
Thank you.
at the December 9th, if they want to talk about it.
Ms. Roberts, would you like to open discussion on 8D?
I would just like a clarification of the date, if the date was changed to the 12th of December instead of the 5th of December prior to the council meeting or after the council meeting, please.
Excuse me. The parade is scheduled for the second Saturday in December.
And the tree lighting, because the Holiday on Main this year for 25 was all one thing.
Right, and it was never talked about to split it at this meeting.
I understand.
So it was just, I think when it was discussed, it was assuming that everything was being done on the second Saturday in December.
That's correct. We also will be bringing back to council if you want to continue with that combined event. So the motion and direction, the direction that council gave us was to hold the holiday parade on the second Saturday of December.
Okay, but no discussion, but in the meeting, or in the minutes, it says December 5th. So that's why I wanted to see if that
We'll
needed
make
to be
sure that the
corrected.
minutes are changed. yes.
Thank you.
Okay. So do I have a motion to approve the minutes of 8D with the corrected date?
I make a motion to approve 8D, letter E, with the correction of the date for the holiday parade.
Second.
All in favor, please vote. Thank you, Ms. Roberts. Okay. Moving on to 9, mayor follow-up. I just, with the Union Pacific sidewalk across the railroad tracks on Main Street, I just wanted to let the public know that I will be having this remain on our agenda until such time as we actually achieve that sidewalk. Mr. Reed and I have a meeting at the end of this week to look at the timeline and to make sure that we're on track to get that accomplished. And 9B, the flashing crosswalks on Main Street. If you remember in our last meeting, Ms. Roberts had proposed the flashing crosswalk light at Old Main, and I had brought up about keeping it in the safe routes to schools, and then we tried to make a motion, but we had to come back, and then the action was that we would ask the EDC if they would pay for that. So I did have a discussion with Ms. Roberts, and we'll be attending the EDC meeting in my capacity as ex officiato and asking them, and it is on their agenda, to ask them if they would consider paying for that. So I just wanted to keep council to be aware of that we are moving forward with Ms. Roberts and our concern for the sidewalks on Main Street. Any questions? Thank you. All right, Mr. Reed, we're moving on to staff updates. 10A, Administration, A Capital Improvement Program, updates on projects, Green Valley Road Water Main Extension, FM 78 Water Main Extension, and fiscal year 25 Street Rehabilitation Package 2, Town Creek Trail, Main Street sidewalks across Railroad.
Thank you, Mayor. And I'll add a few more to this, and then it'll be in the email to you. So on the Main Street sidewalk across the railroad, we have, as I previously informed you, entered into the preliminary engineering agreement. That was in December. Staff received the proposal for consultant services with Kimley Horn, and staff is moving forward with that consultant services. They will complete the schematic design and schedule diagnostic with TxDOT. They will be involved in that. The next steps generally are a diagnostic meeting, and following that, UP Public Project Plan Review, a UP Signal Design and Estimates, UP Track and Design and Estimates, then UP Real Estate Development. When you add up the months of all of those steps, that alone takes up about 1 year. So we will continue to provide council updates on our progress with UPRR. Also want to inform council of our progress on the application to TxDOT under the Senate Bill 1555. This is for the north-south connector. That's on our transportation thoroughfare plan, and the pedestrian bridge, which would be for Town Creek Trail. Those will be submitted this week. We are in the final application, And then at the end of January, they will hold, the TxDOT board will hold a meeting to decide who is awarded a grant through the $250 million grant fund that they generated for this year. Moving on, we will be coming to council in the near future with the Veterans Park, Nimitz Park renovations. More in the detailed notes here. The Community Center renovations Phase 2. We are moving forward with that, and we'll be coming to council to give you an update on that. Proposal expected by end of January. So as we move forward with that, we'll be coming back to council. And then the water main extension on FM 78, the project is on schedule, and about 75% of the pipe is in the ground. And the FM 78 sewer rehabilitation, this is to serve the area where Funtown RV is located at. That remains on schedule and is to start at the end of this month. Utility relocation along FM 1103. This is because of the expansion to FM 1103, going from Rodeo Way, that's at the high school, all the way down to FM 78. So we are under design to relocate our utilities. And then Deer Creek Boulevard, staff will have a final walkthrough January 15th. Remaining striping will be installed after the punch list is completed and the contractor corrects any deficiencies that staff has found based upon the improvements to date. Street rehab package number 2. I'll just tell you that Silver Wing is planting grass is scheduled to be completed after Firebird Run is completed. It's substantially complete. Town Creek Road is scheduled to be completed by mid-February. Firebird Run is under construction. So this is the work that was delayed until after the new year to avoid a conflict with a lot of people being out and about over the holiday season, because that is a more substantial improvement. Tolly Road, we're still involved with land acquisition. We're finalizing design. We're at 90% by the end of January. We're still doing utility coordination with AT&T, GVEC, and GVSUD. And Town Creek Trail Design, I already gave you an update that we have a grant application in with TxDOT. If we receive this grant application, it means a pedestrian bridge over the railroad, because UPRR has been steadfast in saying no in going under the railroad. Those are my updates on capital improvements. And I'm really excited about one of the things that I'm giving you an update on. One, there's no staff travel out of state, so there's no update there. But Ishin has approached, Ishin is our major manufacturer along I-10, for those who don't know. Ishin has approached our economic development staff and said, we would like to offer to the EDC board members, city council, and key staff a facility tour. So this is a floor tour. We would get to walk the floor. Now, what is Ishin? They assemble the drivetrains for the Toyota Tundra, Sequoia, and Tacoma. Tonight, I just am asking council for your interest. If all of y'all are like, I don't want to tour a high-tech facility, it's not interesting, then we won't ask Ishin to facilitate a tour. But if all of you are like, I am interested, and if I'm available, I would attend, then Clancy Hardin and Rick Vasquez will continue to coordinate with them for dates in February. This would be a daytime tour during regular business hours. So
would you like them to email you their interest in that?
No,
or just tonight?
Head nods. Head nods, yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So we will be working with Ishin on possible dates, and then the city manager's office is going to coordinate with you with those dates. And then, you know what? Last year during our strategic management workshop, we had some conflicts, right? There was a car show and there was an Easter egg hunt. And that was because we picked because of how Easter fell last year, the Easter egg hunt was the weekend before. And so I think our workshop was April 5th. Well, the Easter egg hunt is on March 28th. Last year, when council, you received the products from the strategic management workshop, it was important that we pick a date in 2026 so that we could all put it on our calendar. Well, March 28th was put on our calendar, but guess what? March 28th is the date of our Easter egg hunt because it's the weekend before Easter. So what I'd like, not tonight, is I'd like to poll you, and I'll work with the city secretary to set the date for the strategic management workshop. We try our very best to avoid spring break. We had that happen one time. It's best to work around spring break. So we really don't have many Saturdays to work with. So we will send you a couple of dates for you to select from. Unless council says, let's go ahead with March 28th through this polling, we'll leave March 28th on there. I'm suspecting that we'll pick a different date. Is that acceptable to council? To poll you for a date and then go with the preferred
I
date?
think you should poll the council. If you are willing to not restate, please.
That is exactly, but not tonight. We will send an email. The city
Okay.
secretary will ask for dates that you're available. But we will give March 28th as a date, for example.
Okay, I have one question. Ms. Sanchez.
Mr. Reed, are you opposed to maybe a late February instead of a March strategic planning workshop?
I do think that February would just be problematic to prepare for, given everything else that we're working on right now. Give me time, though. Let me think about that. If it's a late February, maybe we could be prepared for a late February. So I'll work with Peggy and Val for one date in late February.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's the end of my update.
Okay. We are ready to move on to 11A. Discussion action to enter into an ESRI, Small Municipal and County Government Enterprise Agreement, SGEA, through the Texas Department of Information Services Cooperative Contract Number DIR CPO 4699 in an amount not to exceed $101,280 over a 3-year period. Mr. Gomez.
Mayor, actually, it'll be Mr. Beekman doing that presentation, and he should be coming from his office.
I'm sorry, Mr. Reed, who is presenting item 11A?
Mr. Huggins just stated it is Tracy Beekman.
Okay. Mr. Beekman.
I know Mr. Beekman's working on some access control fobs, so he'll be up here just a
Okay,
second.
we will move on to 11B and circle back. Moving on to 11B, discussion action on the evaluation criteria for wayfinding sign program RFP. Mr. Gomez. Welcome and good evening.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. So this is for the wayfinding sign program. As you recall, during the September meeting, it was discussed for staff to go out for an RFP to reevaluate the wayfinding sign program that we currently have. The questions that we have for council tonight is in regards to the actual evaluation criteria for the RFP. We did provide this in the council packet and the proposed evaluation criteria, which would be firm background, which would account for 10 points. The project experience and qualifications would account for 20 points. The design and types would be 20 points. The technical approach would be 20 points. And the ability to comply with the terms and conditions, we put that at 5, just because every contractor has to comply with that, so we didn't want to do a lot of points on that one. And then the big one was the cost and revenue sharing proposal, which we put at 25 points. And so our ask to council is based off of that criteria. Does council agree with the criteria that's listed on the RFP? If so, we will move forward to completing this RFP and putting it out for advertisement. Are there any questions?
Hang on one second. Anybody have any questions?
Make a motion to approve 11B.
I have a motion and a second. Okay. The motion carries. Now, circling back to Mr. 11A, the discussion action to enter into the ESRI Small Municipal and County Government Enterprise Agreement, SGEA, through the Texas Department of Information Services Cooperative Contract Number DIR CPO 4699 in the amount not to exceed $101,280 over a 3-year period. Mr. Beekman.
Yes, ma'am. As the item says, this is an agreement, 3-year agreement with Esri. This is for our GIS maps that we use all over the city. GIS is one of our critical decision environments that we use to get a lot of information out to citizens and to staff and to council, of course. The first year of the agreement, there's really no change in the cost, so it's covered already within the regular budget. The most important things is that as we go into years 2 and year 3, there is a slight increase that we do have to catch up for the server or the enterprise agreement. What this does is actually moves us from online services only, because right now everything we do is online, lives online, and it brings it back in-house and provides equipment and servers for our GIS staff. It also allows us to essentially just get a lot more licensing that we can then give to the planning department, public works department. We have a lot of departments who are GIS driven, and they want to be able to use GIS to be able to do various things within the GIS system for their service departments. So, and that is about it for that one, so unless there are any questions on it.
I have a question. Is this like a service, so you're using it like a la carte? That's why the dollar amount is over a 3-year period? You're saying, okay, we need the information for this location or for this particular pin drop or?
Currently, it is an a la carte sort of situation. As we need a new license, we buy a license and add it to the system. This right here, we'll bring it in-house. It'll live on our servers, and we get all that licensing that we need. We get a lot of licensing for it. And it is for the pin drops and everything like that you mentioned. Yes, ma'am.
So as you're looking at the different areas, you're going to be requesting that information from a service and paying a fee for it? Is that how that works?
No, this is all of our information that we put into the system that we advertise.
So you're doing the data entry?
GIS, yes.
Okay. So you're going out with surveyors and shooting grade, or?
No.
No, not GIS. GIS gets that information from the planning department or public works department, and they put it into the GIS system. For instance, all of our water lines, we have points throughout the city that have all of our sewer and wastewater lines. We've got our fire hydrants, they're in there. It's just a map that has all this information in there. GIS also is an underpinning for a lot of the systems that we use. The new cardiograph system, our asset management tool that we're implementing, it uses GIS. C-Clicks Fix uses GIS. So all this information is stuff that we put into the system so we can share out.
Mr. Reed?
Mayor and council, in layman terms, GIS is the platform on which you create intelligent maps. It's not the surveying, that's separate. But surveying data can be put into a layer. So think about various layers: streets, water lines, sewer lines. All of that is in GIS. And these are smart maps so that if we want to query the age of a road or a water line, if you want to know the zoning of a property, GIS enables the ability for us to have accurate information, much of which is available online to our residents.
Okay. So, for instance, as we begin to accept the infrastructure, you're going to be inputting that infrastructure, manholes, water mains, all of those, or sewer drops or whatever, into the GIS map. And so this service that you're getting is the software? Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you. Any other questions? All right. Thank you. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion to approve 11A.
Second. Oh, sorry.
Have a motion and a second. Do you need clarity on who the second was? Ms. Patterson? Okay. Yay! Okay. Moving on to 11D, discussion action on the purchase of a 2025 new Caterpillar Inc. Model 308 compact construction equipment with a 2-year warranty from Holt Cat with trading the old 2018 John Deere $160,800. Mr. Al-Kharid. Good evening and welcome.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Good evening. I'll wait until, sorry.
Yes, I did. We'll come back. Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you for your time. This request is to purchase a new excavator with trading the old 2018 mini excavator for the Utilities Division of Public Works. This upgrade is needed to perform larger scale projects and rehabilitation of special projects. The new excavator will provide greater depth and higher weight capacity. For instance, during the Hakerville project, Utilities Division had to rent a large excavator to perform the job due to the depth of installation. On another event, a recent project to rehabilitate a manhole that was impacted by a recent flood event, Utilities Division also had to rent a large excavator to perform the job. So the new excavator will provide a larger capacity for weight and greater depth to reach. So it will help us to offset and be able to perform a lot of repairs in-house instead of contracting. And this item also was included on the approved budget for FY26.
All right. So this was included in the approved budget.
Yes, ma'am.
Any questions? Do I have a motion?
I make a motion to approve 11D.
Second.
I have a motion to approve in a second. Please vote.
Thank you.
Circling back to 11C, approval of the preliminary plat of Old Weiderstein Commercial Subdivision. Mr. Vasquez. Good evening and welcome.
Aaron Spencer will be making the presentation.
Good evening, Mr. Spencer.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. The owner is David Marbach. The representative is Mark Ramsauer with Mackenhoover Engineering. It's approximately 13.98 acres located near the intersection of Old Weiderstein Road and FM 1103. This is in Council Place 1. The zoning district is retail/office C3. The proposed use is 6 commercial lots, and the utility providers are sewer for City of Shirts for sewer, GVSUD for water, and GVEC for electricity. On February 11th of 2025, City Council approved a conditional use permit under Ordinance 1486 to allow convenience storage on 3.9 acre portion of the property. The review, approval, and recordation of a subdivision plat is one of the conditions of the approved CUP, along with the requirements of an emergency access easement and on-site detention to be notated on the plat. The preliminary plat depicts a 26 wide emergency and cross-access easement that extends from the front of the property to on Old Weiderstein Road, which traverses south across the subject property and connects it to the rear of the property line, which is shared with the adjacent property off of FM 1103. To further satisfy this condition in the approved CUP, the plat includes notes of the secondary emergency access easement. A stormwater drainage and detention study was submitted and reviewed by the city engineer. No portion of the property is located within the FEMA floodplain. As a condition of the CUP, the preliminary plat includes notes requiring the maintenance and upkeep of the detention pond and all associated on-site drainage improvements to be the sole responsibility of the property owners association. At its December 17, 2025 meeting, the Planning and Zoning Commission voted to recommend approval of the preliminary plat. Staff and the city engineer reviewed the plat and its associated documents. The plat was determined to be in compliance with the subdivision regulations outlined in Section 212 of the Texas Local Government Code, and we have those attachments that go with this preliminary plat along with the approval criteria. We are available if you have any questions, and the applicant is here as well.
Yes, can you pull up the map of the plat and indicate which exact lots they are seeking for approval at this time? Thank you.
Yes.
Yes.
Ms. Cunningham, could you repeat the question? I was over here discussing a separate.
Sure, I was just showing them that this is the map I was referencing. I'm not sure which property it is. There's one labeled new retail, there's one labeled applicant's property, future retail, and then there's another property that it has like a dashed line around it, so I'm not sure which one of those three we're referencing. And then the memo, the cover sheet says 6 commercial lots. So I'm
Yes,
not
ma'am.
following on here.
Yes, ma'am.
Is it a PDF?
Yeah, it's a PDF.
And is it in the council folder?
Should be. Okay.
Is there, right? It's 13A is there, but the other one is not.
And Mayor and Council, Aaron has placed up, Mr. Spencer has placed up on the screen the packet, so he's going to the exhibit that Ms. Cunningham. There you go, last page.
Ordinance 1486. The last page of that. That one. There you go. Is it all of these, or one of these, or which specific one are they asking for? Because that seems like more than 13 acres.
So it's for all of these. This is just, this was a part of the conditional use permit requirement for them to submit a site plan for the convenient use storage. This is only showing lot 1 and a few of the adjacent lots next to it. But yeah, this is specifically for the entire tract.
So the preliminary plat is for all of these lots that are in this picture.
Yes, ma'am.
Specifically calling out what was cupped
Correct.
in the dotted line, dash line.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay? I hope I made that.
Thank you. That is exactly what I needed to know.
Okay. Any further questions?
I make a motion to approve 11C.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Thank you, Aaron.
Thank you.
Okay. Moving on to 11E, discussion action on city council appointments to council subcommittees. Hang on one second. I need to get out the list of the subcommittees that I was given. Yeah, I got a list where I put it. Okay, I'm going to pause this item for just a minute, and I have been asked to move to resolution number 13D because we have a consultant guest here. So resolution, this is under the council agenda packet number 13D, approval, disapproval of a resolution for adoption of the South Cibolo wastewater master plan. Mr. Al-Khadid and Mr. Reed. Welcome and thank you.
Mayor and Council, good evening again. This was a request for resolutions for the South Cibolo wastewater master plan. The master plan was evaluating the sanitary sewer service area south of FM 78, projecting future growth based on land use, and develop CIP improvement plan to build the infrastructure to promote developing the area south of FM 78. We also have the consultant, Fraser Nichols, who's been working on the project to answer any questions you may have.
Do you want me to give the presentation?
They have the presentation.
It's in the packet.
Oh, I'll pull up the presentation. I don't want to.
Okay. There aren't any, we don't need to give the presentation? Oh, wonderful, okay.
Then it should be, isn't it, this one, not that?
Not that.
So these are the only two presentations.
So, Mayor and Council, unless you want us to give a presentation, which you were presented on October 27th, tonight is the culmination of multiple months of planning the South Cibolo wastewater service area. It's a milestone in our journey to the phrase that we've been using for 2 years is controlling our destiny. The adoption of this master plan allows us to proceed with designing a capital improvement project that will include a transmission line from the CCMA South plant to the Bolton Road, Hakerville Road intersection area. That is a critical piece to us delivering on the promise of being a wastewater service provider. So tonight is a milestone in that journey. If you have any questions, Ms. Jessica Vassar with Fraser Nichols can answer your questions, as well as Saif Al-Hadid.
Make a motion to approve 13D.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and thank you. That's very kind of you. Please vote. Give one moment, please, and then we'll please vote. Thank you. It's an exciting beginning of Cibolo having control of its development
Thank
south
you.
of FM 78. Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank you so
much.
much. Yes. Moving back to 11E, discussion action on city council appointments to council subcommittees. So that you know, I have the subcommittees that have been in the past were the land swap subcommittee that was dissolved. The GVSUD subcommittee was resolved, a PNC subcommittee that was dissolved. Then we had an SRO subcommittee that was changed to an ISD. And Mr. McLaughlin, Councilman McLaughlin, Councilwoman Cunningham, and Councilwoman Roberts are on that currently. The CIP subcommittee has Councilwoman Cunningham in an open place and Councilwoman Sanchez-Stevens. And there was an ordinance subcommittee of Councilwoman Roberts and Councilman Roberts and one open space. Took me a minute. Then we have the Animal Advisory Board, which really only has one position on it, and we have Councilwoman Cunningham in those positions. Then the newly created Interview Subcommittee, which is open. And then the Policy Subcommittee, which has Councilwoman Roberts and Councilwoman Sanchez-Stevens. On the first, let's go upside down, back up. The Policy Subcommittee, Ms. Roberts, Councilwoman Roberts, do you still want to be on that?
Yes, I would, and I'd like to make a nomination if I could.
I would like to say that you would basically be nominating yourself to stay on the board, and then we would.
Okay, yes, I would.
Okay, yeah, because that way we go through each one and everybody gets an opportunity, especially the ones that have served in that capacity. Okay, so we have a motion to keep Ms. Roberts on the Policy Subcommittee. Do I have a second? I have a motion and a second. Do we need a vote on the screen? Would you prefer to do it that way? I just don't want anybody. So there's been a suggestion. Let's go ahead and vote. Oh, I can't do that. My problem. I'm sorry. There's been a suggestion that we could do what the committee does and then make the motions and vote all at one time. I just wanted to make sure that our new council members who are not as versed with discussion on the dais are given an opportunity and feel comfortable to voice what they would like to participate in, just because, it's a big deal. So, so if everybody is would like to do that, and also be sure to provide our new council persons the opportunity, I think we could move forward that way. Okay, fantastic. So the Policy Subcommittee is a subcommittee that looks at the policies, like what we had just given to from the attorney. There are policies, not city employee policies. So we already have Ms. Roberts on there. So if you think you would like to talk about it, let's go ahead and have a discussion about what your thoughts are. If anybody would like to be on that policy.
I would like to do that as well. I would like to.
Okay.
Him doing that, he gets out hard. Yeah, but he can't get back up there.
Oh, not for, not for.
Not until he loses up there.
Can you hear me talking on this? Can you hear me talking on the microphone now? Ms. Cunningham, would you mind saying something so I can see if we can hear you?
Hello? We're back.
Yeah, it's working again.
It appears that we are ready to begin to call the meeting back into session. We were at 11. We were at 11. What happened to my? Sorry, here's my page. All right, here we go. We were at 11E, the discussion on action on city council appointments to council subcommittee councils. I would like to come back to this item because it has been brought to my attention that we have a guest for the resolutions. So in the future, we are going to move all resolutions to the top of the agenda so that it is clear to the public and those watching online in the future that that is where they will be. And that way, we are going to do all of Section 13 now at this time and then come back to where we left off. So starting on 13A, disapproval of a resolution of the City of Cibolo on a height increase from 35 feet to 42 feet for parking area light standards in accordance with the 2024 Unified Development Code, Article 7, Environmental Performance Standards, Section C, General Standards on a 126-acre tract generally located at the intersection of South Santa Clara Road and IH-10, abutting 10420 IH-10. Mr. Vasquez.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the council. This item is related to the city's 2024 Unified Development Code. The UDC is the acronym you'll hear as we work through the development issues with the city council. This project has been a city-initiated corporate recruitment since November of 2024. We're continuing to work on that recruitment. The UDC sets a maximum height of 35 feet for light poles or light standards. There is one size that fits all in Cibolo. So for residential, it's 35 feet. For commercial, it's 35 feet. And industrial, it is 35 feet. The UDC allows a party to apply to the city council and request an increase to that 35-foot maximum. In this case, the corporation that we're recruiting is seeking to have city council consider and approve an increase of 7 feet to 42 feet for their light fixtures. This operation will be a 24-hour operation. At night, there'll be a lot of truck traffic, so they want to create a well-lit, safe environment as the trucks move in and out and deliver and pick up their products. This ordinance does allow for the increase in height, but it maintains design criteria that even though the light fixture is allowed to be taller, they cannot trespass past the light glare, cannot trespass past the property line, and all the light fixtures must be shielded to provide downlighting so that you don't have bright sky issues. We did present this item to the Planning and Zoning Commission in December. The Planning and Zoning Commission did recommend approval of the increased height. And we do have a representative here on behalf of the applicant. They have a short presentation they would like to make.
Good afternoon, good evening, I should say. Thank you so much for having me. Congratulations to the new council members. I'm Anissa Shell with Ortiz McKnight, and I'm here on behalf of the property owner. I wanted to thank staff for their work on this item. They've done a great job presenting this and putting together the information. So as was mentioned, this property is about 126 acres. It's located on Santa Clara Road near Interstate 10. It's right, it abuts the highway. You can see it on this map here on the screen outlined in blue. It is zoned industrial, and that zoning was approved by City Council this summer on August 12th. Its proposed use is for a cold storage facility. The future land use designation is light industrial and business park. It's appropriate for this area, and there's no residential surrounding this area. Our request is for a taller light pole or a light standard. We'd like to increase the height from the 35 feet that is in the UDC to 42 feet. This is pretty standard for an industrial property of this nature. And the intended nighttime use of the property does require this enhanced lighting for safety of the employees
And it will also reduce the number of poles across the site so that we can have better flow for the truck traffic within the site. We'll continue to follow all of the city's UDC regulations as far as shielding, dark sky, and light trespass, so all the light will stay on the property. It's not going to bleed over into other properties. This is an example. It's kind of hard to visualize what's the difference between a 35-foot pole and a 42-foot pole. This first picture is a 35-foot pole that's like in a Lowe's parking lot that's retail. This 42 is in an industrial distribution center site. So you can see the difference in height. It's not a huge difference when you're standing in the parking lot. We see them all the time. This is the technical page. We've submitted this to the city along with the lighting plan. So in conclusion, that's our request. We're looking for 7 feet of additional height for our lighting poles. We will comply with all the UDC standards, and this is hopefully something that you will support. We did get recommendations of approval by city staff and the Planning and Zoning Commission. So I'm here if you have any questions.
Thank you. So is there any questions? Okay. Then do I have a motion to?
Motion to approve 13A.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving. Thank you so much. 13B, approval, disapproval of a resolution authorizing the city manager to execute a professional services agreement with Valley View Consulting LLC for investment advisor services. Ms. Miranda.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. For your approval this evening, we have a resolution authorizing the city manager to execute a 2-year agreement with Valley View Consulting to provide investment advisory services for the city. The agreement is included in your council packet and is for renewal of these services. They have been doing the job for 2 years. The Public Funds Investment Act requires that any renewal or extension of an investment advisor agreement be made by order, ordinance, or resolution and limits the term to 2 years. Over the last 2 years, Valley View has worked with the city. They have developed a cash flow analysis of each fund to create an investment ladder specific to each fund. They have prepared multiple competitive investment solicitations, leading to the placement of 27 CDs with 3 different banks to earn an additional 18.5 basis points over comparable security investments. They've helped diversify our portfolio from holding 4% in fixed income securities to holding 22% in fixed income securities, which helps maintain yields in a falling rate environment. They've prepared our quarterly investment reports, and they review our policy annually for compliance and for submission to the Government Treasurers Association of Texas for their award program. And in addition, Valley View assisted the city in completing our last banking RFA, which is a request for application, required at a minimum for every 5 years by Texas Local Government Code. That was last done in 2024. A representative from Valley View, Mrs. Emily Upshaw, is in attendance tonight if City Council has any questions about the firm or its services. And a copy of the agreement is included in your council packet. Staff recommends approval of the resolution. Does council have any questions for me or Ms. Upshaw?
Are there any questions or any questions for the consultant?
I do. I have a question. Since it's about every 5 years that you said that we normally would rotate through our investment firms, correct? So
it's a 2-year agreement with an investment advisor. Our bank depository services are every 5 years.
I see. Okay. So is it customary to do it every 2 years? Is that just pretty standard?
The Public Funds Investment Act does require any renewal or extension can only be limited to 2 years and does need to be approved by council.
Okay. Thank you.
Any further questions?
I feel extremely loud. I don't know if the microphone is loud.
We can hear you.
Is it too loud? Is that better? Is that better? Okay. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve 13B as written.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Moving on to 13C, approval, disapproval of the resolution of the City of Cibolo participating in the Guadalupe County Master Drainage Plan under the Texas Water Development Board Flood Infrastructure Fund. Mr. El Hadid, good evening and welcome again.
Good evening. I was told to slow down because I get too excited, especially when I talk about engineering. This is one of the projects I'm very excited about, so I will slow down. So,
This is an exciting topic and an exciting opportunity.
yes, ma'am. This resolution is to allow the city of Cibolo to participate in the Guadalupe County Master Drainage Plan under the Texas Water Development Board Flood Infrastructure Fund. The Guadalupe County is preparing an application to the Texas Water Development Board for flood management evaluation for a countywide study. For the development of the study, this resolution is to authorize the city of Cibolo to participate in the master plan. Staff recommendation is to participate in the study as we believe that coordinated effort in flood mitigation is essential for protecting the public safety, improving city infrastructure resilience, and support long-term community planning. We have the consultant who has been donating their time so far working on this project with the county. He's here today to answer any questions you may have for this study. Mr. Mayor.
Good evening and welcome.
Thank you. Long time no see. Thank you for the opportunity to visit with you guys and gals. Congratulations on your appointments as well. I'm here on behalf of the county. We prepared the application for the flood infrastructure grant funding, which this is being funded under. And this does include the entirety of the city of Cibolo, and it even extends into Bexar County. And so the focus of the majority of the effort will be on the western third of Guadalupe County and includes much of the goals that the city of Cibolo was seeking to accomplish with their own fifth grant application. So we've been working cooperatively now for probably a couple of weeks to address some of staff's questions and concerns. So I'm here to answer any questions that you may have.
I think the first thing you might want to do is explain to the general public what a fifth fund is and how it benefits our community as Cibolo and the greater Guadalupe County project.
Absolutely. So I'll share the same thing that I shared with the court, Guadalupe County Commissioners Court. Out of the entirety of Texas, Guadalupe County's request for $2.5 million worth of funding for this study ranked 7th out of the entire state. There was roughly 180 applications for similar funds. To Mayor Latimer's question about what are flood infrastructure funds, the legislature, probably 6 biennium ago, established a fund. Originally, it was a fixed dollar amount of $1 billion. Once that was exhausted, it didn't come back. Thankfully, through several different referendums and changes in the Texas Constitution, it's become a more enduring fund. And so in 2024, applications were opened as abridged applications for flood mitigation evaluations. That's FMEs. This is an FME. Those were ranked and scored by regional flood planning groups. This particular project went to the Region 11 Regional Flood Planning Group, which is the Guadalupe River Basin. However, it does encompass portions of Region 12, of which the city of Cibolo is located within, and that's the San Antonio River Basin. So each one of those regional flood planning groups ranks and scores flood mitigation evaluations, projects, strategies, and other FMXs. Those scores then roll up into a statewide flood plan And that statewide flood plan racks and stacks projects from, I think it's 20 different regions across the state. And then ultimately they decide where the cut line is for grant funds. So fairly complex process, but ultimately this particular project ranks 7th through that entire process statewide.
And also, I would like the public to know that we have in the city of Cibolo been kind of on the outskirts of what the flood evaluation and management funding would become a part of. And that hopefully with partnering to get the flood infrastructure funding with Guadalupe County, we'll have a bigger piece of the pie to perhaps, or a bigger partner to perhaps be a part of that. But also, as Mr. El Hadid had said, that would not preclude us from trying to get help and assistance in getting a flood infrastructure funding for our 18 low water crossings. So I think that the public should know this is an extremely exciting part of our future here in Cibolo for flood infrastructure funding, and also for our staff in flood control to maybe get some advocacy. And so I really hope that the Texas Water Development Board understands Cibolo is here, our citizens matter, the people in this community deserve to be kept safe from flood waters. So thank you guys very much for the work you're doing. Any questions?
I'd like to make a motion. I'd like to make a motion to approve 13C, a resolution of the City of Cibolo participating in the Guadalupe County Master Drainage Plan under the Texas Water Development Board Flood Infrastructure Fund.
Second.
I have a motion and a second by Councilman Roberts. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you, sir.
All right, going back to the order of (11E). 11E, discussion action on the city council appointments. We had Miss Marissa, Councilwoman Patterson, Ms. Patterson, Councilwoman Patterson make a self-nomination, but I also do want to reserve on the policy subcommittee that Councilwoman Sanchez Stevens had served on that. And so could we make another motion? Yeah, you want to do?
Yes, I would like to remain on the policy subcommittee. So,
Okay. So then that would be a motion to add Ms. Patterson and remain with Ms. Sanchez Stevens. Okay, that motion, I need that motion. To include Sanchez Stevens and Patterson on the policy subcommittee. Okay. I have a motion, and I had a second from Ms. Patterson. This is for the policy subcommittee for both Sanchez Stevens and Patterson. Okay. I'm not sure if I made it clear. I'm not sure if I made it clear for the subcommittees for the public and for our new council persons. We cannot have more than 3 on any subcommittee. Otherwise, we would be having like a quorum. Thank you. All right, let's go to the interview subcommittee. Nobody was on that.
no, I would actually like to make a motion to nominate myself on this. I was part of the subcommittee to create the interview subcommittee. It was something that I generated because I realized that our interview process was pretty politicized and also politicized for the removal process. So I worked very closely with those that were working on that subcommittee with Mr. Mahoney and then also Ms. Danetta Roberts, but we didn't have the subcommittee actually in place. But being that I understand the concept of the interview process of what was intended, I'd like to nominate myself.
So we had Ms. Roberts, were you on there?
No.
No. Okay. Okay, thank you.
Just created it, created the policy for it.
All right, so do we want to go through each one, or do we want to have some discussion and then do the motion all at one time? Okay,
I recommend going through each subcommittee, figuring out which three, and then voting on that one subcommittee.
That's
then
what I-
moving to the next subcommittee.
okay, so right now we have a motion for Sanchez-Stevens. Okay, I would like to, you can rescind that motion, because then we will do it all at one time. Is that,
I would like to
yeah,
I would like to rescind my motion.
thank you. All right, but still be on the candidate for the subcommittee?
Yes.
All right. Is there anybody else that would like to be on that sub?
I would like to be on that as well, for interview committee.
You want?
I would like to be on that.
Okay, so we have Ms. Roberts, Councilwoman Roberts, Councilwoman Sanchez-Stevens, and Councilwoman Brown. Is everybody happy with that?
Yes.
Okay, can we have a motion?
I make a motion to appoint Norma Sanchez-Stevens, Janetta Roberts, and Summer Marie Brown to the interview subcommittee.
I have a motion. I need a second. I have a second from Ms. Patterson. Sorry. All right. We're going to go down to the Animal Advisory Board. I'm going to ask Councilwoman Cunningham if this is something you would like to stay on.
So the Animal Advisory Board, it sounds a lot more flashy than it really is. It is a statutory requirement as a part of state law because we quarantine animals that may have been involved in a bite for rabies quarantine. We meet once a quarter for about 5 whole minutes. It was required to have a council member, one of our animal services staff, one community member, a veterinarian, and a member of a animal rescue group. And so these meetings are really, truly just 5 minutes. I think they're even on the agenda for 5 minutes, and sometimes we're in and out in less than that. So I'm happy to stay on it. If someone else would like a chance to be on that board, again, 5 minutes. It's really not much.
I'll make the motion if you want to stay on it. It's yours.
I have a motion and a second for Katie to remain on the Animal Advisory Board. I would vote for you. All right, we have the ordinance sub.
I'd like to nominate.
Sorry, no, it just comes out like that. Okay, the ordinance subcommittee is something that I would like to be appointed to. Ms. Roberts is on it. I can't motion for myself to be on the ordinance subcommittee, but it is something that I have kind of a little bit of experience in.
Just to give you all a background, this subcommittee was formed 3-ish years ago. We noticed that we had a lot of issues with the UDC, our code, where there were things that didn't match completely. Or there were things that we wanted to update that we didn't want to wait until the UDC rewrite was done. We are starting the UDC rewrite. It's an 18-ish month process to 2 years. So this committee would continue to review ordinances as they come up, any urgent needs or anything that needs to be fixed that cannot wait 18 months to 2 years. It's a lot of reading. It does move pretty slow. You kind of have to stay on top of things just because it's a lot of times these aren't the things that are on fire in front of you right now. And so they kind of get pushed down. So it is a lot of reading and a lot of background work, a lot of checking and seeing what other cities might be doing. It's a good committee.
I'd like to make a motion to nominate Ms. Mayor Kara Latimer to the ordinance subcommittee.
Do you want to stay on it? Are you wanting to stay on the ordinance? She's making a motion to nominate me. Oh, I'm sorry. We're going to do the motion all at one time. It's okay.
Sorry. No, I would not like to stay on this committee.
Okay, so Ms. Roberts is also, I would like to be on it. Is there anybody else that loves?
I would like to be on it as well.
Ms. Brown? Oh, I'm sorry. I am so sorry, Mr. Roberts. Do you want to stay on that? Oh, how fun. Okay, so Mrs. Councilwoman Brown, Councilman Roberts, and Councilman.
Yeah.
Councilman Roberts, I apologize. That- I don't, it is a little bit. of
I'd
a
like to make a motion to appoint Councilwoman Summer Marie Brown, Councilman Randy Roberts, and then Mayor Carol Latimer to the Ordinance Subcommittee.
I have a motion. I have a motion and a second. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Sanchez-Stevens. Now we'll go on to the CIP subcommittee. We have two, Councilwoman Cunningham and Councilwoman Sanchez-Stevens. Do you both want to remain on the CIP?
I would. We didn't really meet that much this year. Old District 4 had the most residents and the least amount of CIP projects. It had 0. The only CIP project that was listed was Buffalo Crossing, which was not an act of the CIP committee. It was resident-led. So I would like to stay on that committee just to make sure that my area has representation still.
And you, Ms. Sanchez-Stevens?
I actually would like to withdraw myself from the subcommittee. I am already on the other two, and I think just having more than those two, I'd like to give others the opportunity who'd like to be on that CIP subcommittee to do so.
I would love to be on that subcommittee.
Mr.
I'll give it to them.
Marissa? Patterson, Councilwoman Patterson? And Councilwoman Cunningham and Councilman McLaughlin.
I'd like to make a motion to appoint Councilman McLaughlin, Councilwoman Patterson, and Councilwoman Cunningham to the CIP subcommittee.
I have a motion and a second. Okay. Then we have the SRO subcommittee that was changed to the ISD subcommittee. I do not know what that is. Can you please?
Sure. So this subcommittee was created when we had the SRO contract discussions, and we wanted to have council members present at those conversations, just kind of hear and bring back and translate what was discussed at those meetings and see if there was any kind of common ground we could come to and improve the relationship. Once the SRO contract was resolved, the committee, or we all thought that it was a good idea to keep a committee for school district things in case something came up with the school district. This year, not so much, but in the past, we've had a lot of issues with traffic and with parking on the street in neighborhoods and blocking roadways and things like that, things that were all shared concerns between the district and council, the city. So we've been working on that. I would like to stay on this committee. I am also on the community advisory committee for the school district, and I was on the advisory committee for the bond for the school district. But this committee does not meet often. It's only really if something comes up. We are there to kind of help if we can, or sit back and listen if we can't advise. But we're just there to be a person from council who's present and showing that we're involved and we want to work together with the district.
Fantastic. Okay. And that committee has Councilman McLaughlin. Do you want to stay on that? And Councilwoman Roberts?
Yes, please.
Okay. Oh, that you never met though, right? That's classic. Okay. So I have anybody else that might want to be on the ISD committee that maybe wasn't considered and would like to argue? Like, could I do it? Like, no?
I am willing to step down if someone else wants to be on it. If you have kids in the district or you're interested in learning more about it, I'm happy to step back from that one.
Okay. So Ms. Councilwoman Brown does want to do on the ISD. Okay.
Then you can take my spot.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Katie. Okay, so now I need a motion, right?
I make a motion to approve Councilman McLaughlin, Councilwoman Roberts, and Councilwoman Brown for the SRO subcommittee.
I have a motion and a second. Oh. Okay. Okay, Ms. Cunningham, you would like to propose another committee?
Yes, and so a couple years ago, we had residents come forward. I'm going to give you like the long backstory and try to make it quick. Several years ago, we had residents come forward in Buffalo Crossing. The main road called Buffalo Crossing was a wide road with a median that had trees in it, and the developer had always promised to put in bike lanes. It was wide enough for two travel lanes, but people would speed on that road, and we needed to kind of figure out a traffic management plan. So we did some traffic studies to see if we could put in stoplights. We did some community votes. We had 3 town halls here where we brought in the community from that neighborhood to decide what they wanted to do. It ended up going to a neighborhood-wide vote where they had to turn in a ballot. More than 50% of the residents had to reply, and the winning option, either bike lanes or 2 lanes, had to have at least 60% of the vote, and that was a challenge. Danetta and I walked that neighborhood on Easter to try and get the last few straggler ballots so we'd get over that 50%. So the work on that road was a success. The residents came together, they made the decision on it, and we developed the neighborhood traffic management plan as a result of that. So neighborhoods that have an issue with traffic on their street, where they want speed bumps or speed cushions, or they want to look at getting a stop sign or a stoplight or whatever, there is a process for them to request that. We've had this in place for maybe 2 years-ish, maybe 3. And my recommendation would be a subcommittee of us for the neighborhood traffic management plan, where we would meet maybe once every quarter or twice a year, however often is needed, to review some of the applications or bring forward applications at that point. What I know from being a resident is it's frustrating when residents are pointed towards something and then they feel like nothing ever comes of it. So if council is having a meeting to discuss the applications, that council person can go back and talk directly with the residents and say, hey, we got your application, we reviewed it, here's what we were thinking, or here's why we can't do it. And it'd be a more personal relationship experience trying to find a solution. Because if staff is reviewing it and the staff just says, we don't have the money for that, or that's not something we can do, often the residents feel like, well, the city doesn't want to help. Whereas we can take some of that heat off of staff and try to find a different solution and work with city manager, whoever, on that. But I think that that would be a good opportunity, not only to be more responsive to residents and speak with them, but also help us to be better advocates for the program and directing people that way. I refer people to that every so often, but it's not consistent. But if we know that we are going to review applications twice a year and provide a recommendation to staff, like of these that we've received, we think that these might be the ones that would be higher priority based off of our experience, then staff would have kind of a big contributing voice to that as well, because they know the funding and actually how much you're gonna have to dig down in that road and how much it's gonna cost and all that. We don't know that, but if we know like this neighborhood has had this problem for 5 years, I get 20 calls a week about it, then we can help contribute to that as well. Well, that's my recommendation.
There has been a initiative, I can never remember what it's called, where a person has had signatures signed and brought forward, petition, thank you, for traffic issues. So are you saying that that subcommittee would handle those issues?
Yes, so there's actually a process already called the Neighborhood Traffic Management Plan, NTMP, where they can apply and provide that. So they can do a petition, but that we have a process in place already for things like that. And then as a part of the NTMP, it would be decided, is this going to require a neighborhood-wide vote, or is this a street-specific vote, because only those residents on that street would be impacted? Is this something that the city should just do already because there used to be a stop sign there, it got knocked down, nobody noticed, and we just never put it back up? You know, there could be things like that. So there is a process, and the process has worked. We've had a few projects go through that I know of through the program that have been successful. But I think it's a lack of knowledge on the residents' part. And then if they have like one person from their neighborhood apply, that person didn't tell anyone else that they applied for it and it gets shot down, then everyone just kind of assumes city doesn't care or whatever.
Okay, so this subcommittee could be called the Neighborhood Traffic Management Plan or the NTMP
Correct.
Subcommittee.
And again, I want to reiterate this, in my opinion, this committee would not be making final approvals of anything. It would just be a review of the applications and a recommendation, like based off of what we know, these are the projects. If there's 10 applications, these are the 3 that would be top priority.
I would like to make it a point to note that all of the subcommittees are not the final decision, that it will all come back to council for council as the body's approval. Ms. Sanchez-Stevens.
I do have a question with your idea, Katie, and I do like it. I was just curious about, since we already have a portal online where everyone submits their application and there's already a process detailed of how city staff reviews those, where would the subcommittee fall in that process?
That is a fantastic question, and I forgot that we had so I would defer to staff and how we could be involved in that, just, or at least a brief or something.
Mr. Reed, did you want to contribute to that?
Yes, and if you form the subcommittee, if you could call it program instead of plan, so Neighborhood Traffic Management Program Subcommittee. The NTMP is made to address that traffic mitigation, mitigation from traffic that is going at high speeds, and that's all relative, through our neighborhoods. And so this doesn't guarantee a reduction in cut-through traffic because we can't stop people from cutting through neighborhoods, but it's about creating a safer environment within our neighborhoods, as Ms. Cunningham spoke about Buffalo Crossing, which is our success story. So there is an online portal. We do have timelines or cycles, if you will, for submitting applications. Staff then takes those applications and assesses them on a technical basis as to whether or not they rise to an NTMP project. For example, if it's about a traffic control device, a sign or a signal, staff says, we understand the concern, we'll go investigate the concern, but the concern is not per se an NTMP project. One example is staff working with Ms. Sanchez-Stevens for a crosswalk within the Deer Creek neighborhood, actually where a pedestrian was hit by a vehicle. That wasn't about reducing the speed, it was about increasing the safety at a location. We therefore did not go through the NTMP. But Buffalo Crossing was.
To request this was when a project does require a petition or is moving forward, we will notify the council person for that place along with the 3 at large, so that way they can get that community support behind that project as well.
I like the fact that to include like the council members from those places. I guess the only concern I had about the subcommittee, that let's say if there was a council member who may have wanted to participate or doesn't know about the NTMP program, and then by just having a subcommittee, then it takes away from every council member having the experience of how that program works, what it's like to work with city staff, how it is to rally, the community and city staff together to do that. But I don't know, sometimes maybe that particular council member might not be able to do that, and then it would help that a subcommittee does it. So I don't know, I guess, how much.
So my thought process with it was just as a part of the application process, but then the follow-up on it and the actual, like, you've been awarded an NTMP. There's a lot that goes on after that. So I think that's where what Mr. Gomez was saying would still apply. It'd be those people still involved. That was my idea. It can definitely be improved upon.
And we're always more than welcome to give any council member that wants to know more about the process to get with myself or Ms. Hernandez, schedule some time with y'all to discuss that as well.
Would there ever be a situation where there's a walking quorum because you have that subcommittee and then you're bringing in that additional place council member? I think that's just another concern factor on that.
If I may, if the subcommittee is confined to be involved in the application review process, so that as we bring forward the applications, I think that narrow focus prevents a walking quorum. It is only council that decides to advance an application through the process. At that point, the subcommittee would have no role. They participated in the review to understand why some applications do not rise to being qualified for NTP, while others do. So I think we could address that walking quorum concern by narrowly focusing the purpose of the subcommittee.
It
If
needs to be
council's
a-
agreeable to that.
It needs to be a statement then included in that so that you don't get yourself into a train wreck. I wanted to add onto this and this traffic recommendation planning group. We have had an exponential number in terms of like having another subcommittee, and so I'm trying to like see if I can combine something together or brainstorm a little bit. But we have had a tremendous amount of people in HOAs wanting us to continue the HOA issues. And so I think, like, for instance, I do not myself live in an HOA, so I have less experience than perhaps somebody else. But I do think that we do need to have some form of educational community outreach led by our representatives that would be engaged in that. And I know that both Ms. Brown and Ms. Cunningham had kind of expressed an interest in being part of the educational HOA. Do you think this is a subcommittee that could be sandwiched together to be like traffic safety in neighborhoods and HOA issues, or do you see them as two separate? I'm sorry?
I feel that that may be a lot. How many, Mr. Gomez, how many applications do you have so far for the NTMP?
Do you know roughly? I know the last time I checked, we had 10.
10?
And I was back in the end of November.
Okay. Okay. Mhm.
And
Just
for
so
the
the
record-
public knows, Ms. Hernandez said that there had been no additional applications and that she will be starting next week to evaluate the 10 previous submissions that were given to the city. Ms. Councilwoman Roberts.
Ms. Hernandez, is there a time? I'll wait till you get there. So you have the 10 applications. Is there like if someone was to submit it this week, would that still be okay, or are you pretty much closed as far as?
Nope. We will continue receiving applications. I just want to get ahead of it. I don't want to be reviewing it in the last week of March when I have to come back to you and do a recommendation.
Okay,
I'm going to
thank
be
you.
working and reviewing them consistently as they come in so we can have a thorough review of them.
Well, maybe having the HOA education subcommittee is a little bit too much to put onto the neighborhood traffic plan. I mean, what is your feeling?
Just after they explain that it only is really one time a year that the applications get reviewed, I think if it was more often, then yes, I would agree. I don't see a problem with keeping them separate or combining them. We're calling it like the neighborhood committee. I don't know what you would call it, but I like the idea of an HOA committee to do that education and kind of organize those, go out to, a lot of us do. I know that even if you're not on a committee, this would not prevent you from going out and speaking to HOAs or speaking with residents.
Well, and I also want to be kind of specific about what I expect the HOA subcommittee to be, education subcommittee to be doing. That would be calendaring for the council and bringing educational opportunities in the first quarter of the year, the second quarter of the year, you know what I'm saying? So that we have these opportunities and going out and seeing what other kinds of public education for the HOA issues they would be proactively seeking out agencies and that assist the public with their HOAs, just so that we constantly had a good resource. And coming back and making public at our meetings, they followed up on this training or they followed up on that training. So because the load in my inbox is significant. for HOA issues. And so I think that it is an outcry from the public to us as, like, I know that it isn't under our purview, but it is certainly under our character of service to provide. Yes, ma'am.
Mayor and council members, I wanted to correct myself. Jeanette just verified there is one that came in early last week, one application. And again, as I said, I'm going to sit down next week and start reviewing them and assessing them. We also have a plan of starting advertise heavily on social media and our community letter. Jeanette is going to help me with that advertisements, so more community members know about it and they can start submitting their application. But the deadline is not till the end of March.
Okay. Thank you. The end of March is the deadline for the NTMP program, in which we are looking at bringing an NTMP subcommittee together with also combining it with HOA, or do you think it's like?
One last question.
Yes,
When is
ma'am.
open enrollment for NTMP again? When is open enrollment for NTMP
It
again?
started already. We
It start-
started in
when-
January.
So we only give residents from January to March to apply for a concern?
Yes.
So if they
And-
have a concern that comes up in July, they're going to have to wait all the way till January. I guess I never saw it in the manual itself that it was going to be restricted to a time of year to apply. I don't think that was written down. I think that was probably a decision made
right.
separately.
So from an operational standpoint, if we do find a neighborhood that has an NTMP eligible project and it moves forward, it will take several months to work through that neighborhood. These are very staff, council intensive efforts. And so to present multiple rounds per year would not be operationally feasible. Miss Cunningham, I'm looking right at you. The effort we invested into one neighborhood, which would be mimicked for any other neighborhood. We do not have a dedicated person to NTMP. And so, again, from my experience in other communities, an annual cycle for NTMP is very effective. When you have that one neighborhood or two neighborhoods that were simultaneously advancing, it takes the resources at hand to process. And so if it takes 4 to 5 months to work through one project and you do one cycle per year, it falls squarely within your budget process as well. So that is why it's once per year. And I'll defer to Ms. Cunningham to share the intensity of that one project.
It's a lot.
It is a
took
lot.
At least a year. At least a year to get just through from the first town hall to the voting.
Right.
And then from there, it took even longer to get it up and going because when staff went out to look at the street after it was decided to put in bike lanes, they were like, well, we'll just fix pieces of the street and do this slurry seal on it to prolong the street because we don't want to paint something if we can fix it a little bit first. And then
Right.
so that took a while. It was a very lengthy process and it did take a lot of time. There was a lot of the town halls, you have to have one to hear the concerns, you have to have one to present the options, and you have another one to decide on the options. Then you have to send out the ballots,
Right.
count the ballots that come in.
And then it goes out for design.
Yeah, and then design and everything. So it's a lengthy process. I understand the one time a year, but I do agree, like if a concern pops up, I hope we're not just putting that to the side and saying, we'll look at that again in 6 months.
No, that
So-
neighborhood has the right to apply and be in the queue for the next cycle.
So how many of the NTMP projects are chosen?
That depends on what they're submitting for. Again, until Margarita can review them, we don't know what they are. And Ms. Gomez wants to say
And it could
something
be
too.
a simple, striping crosswalk to a full-blown traffic signal that requires a study, a warrant, as this would be a liability for the city if a traffic signal gets installed and someone gets into an accident. They review all that data. Somebody pulls and said, how many cars were there? Was this warranted, right? So it does take some time, and it depends on the infrastructure that we're installing, how long it would take.
So as so we do have $50,000 that was allocated for the NTMP. So what we would do is once we get those applications come March, we evaluate those projects, we'll rank them with our recommendation, we'll come to council, council can rank those and adjust that, and we would do projects up to that $50,000 threshold. That doesn't mean the rest of those projects fall off, they just stay in the queue. And when we do the cycle again, we continue this process to where if council allocates 100,000 next year, then we'll continue with that list to get until we can get as many projects as we can.
So exactly describe again how council subcommittee would engage with this in this.
Based upon the conversation so far, the council subcommittee would be engaged during the application review process. Staff will do the technical review of the applications. Prior to it being presented to council, the Public Works Department would call the subcommittee to meet to explain to them, let's say it's 11 applications, explain how many of them rise to being eligible projects, how many do not. Of those eligible projects, based upon the technical criteria, which ones or how were they scored and ranked? Questions can be asked by the council members. Ultimately, though, that knowledge helps those 3 council members when this comes before council, maybe to be advocates for those applications because they've been able to digest that information, dive a little bit deeper.
Okay.
I hope I answered your question,
You
Mayor.
did. You did a great job. Okay, so let's go ahead and move this forward. Let's separate them. We'll do the NTMP subcommittee. And Ms. Cunningham, I'm assuming that this is something you wanted to be on.
I can be. I just thought it would be one that would be good to have people on.
All right, well,
it doesn't have to be me. If someone else is interested in it, then go for it.
Ms. Patterson or Ms. Brown? Councilwoman Patterson or Brown? Okay. Okay, so we're looking at Ms. Councilwoman Patterson. And Ms. Brown, is this something you're interested in? Okay. So Councilwoman Brown and Ms. Cunningham, is that what you want, or is there anybody else that wanted to be on it? You want to be on it?
I mean, I participated heavily in the Buffalo Crossing, so I kind of saw what has to happen, and so I mean, I would like to.
Yeah, Ms. Brown, you want to cede to Ms. Roberts?
Well, thank you.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, so right now it would be the NTMP would be Councilwoman Roberts, Councilwoman Brown, and Councilwoman Patterson. Is that correct? All right, I need a motion.
Motion to nominate Councilwomen Patterson, Roberts, and Brown to the NTMP.
Thank you. I have a motion and a second. Okay. And then to create an HOA subcommittee that would be responsible, what help bring training to the city of Cibolo, specifically addressing HOAs. Is there anybody, I know that Miss Councilwoman Brown had already had a conversation with me. Is there anybody in particular?
I would also love to help with this. Katie, I think you
Yeah,
started it. I attended the couple of ones that you had. I really enjoyed those.
I'd be interested. We did the community association initiatives, the HOA roundtables. Yes, and I've already talked with Mr. Reed about doing something similar again.
Okay. So I have Sanchez, Stevens, Brown, and Cunningham. Any issue with anybody else that feels like they wanted to maybe be on that and we could have discussion? No? All right. Yes. Well, to be you can participate in the training. And we will be publicizing it and announcing it, and they will be bringing it to the council meetings.
Yeah, and if any of these committees get too complicated where it's preventing other people from doing
Participating.
things, then we can dissolve the committees. It's
Do
worth a
you
shot
want to
try
not
some-
make it a subcommittee? Because
Well, I mean, it still would be the same because only three of us would
it
be able to.
tightens and safe, it tightens and makes safe the council to have the subcommittees. That's why.
I'm not saying to not do it, I'm just saying that we can reevaluate if it does become an issue where people feel like they can't do things because there's already a subcommittee working on it, and it would be a potential violation of quorum. So,
Okay. So we have an HOA subcommittee that has Ms. Sanchez Stevens, Ms. Brown, and Ms. Cunningham. Is that correct? All right. I need a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to appoint councilwomen, as Mr. McLaughlin said, Brown, Sanchez Stevens, and Cunningham to an HOA subcommittee.
I have a motion, and do I need a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. Anybody else have any further discussion on subcommittees? Seeing none, we'll move on to 11F. Discussion action regarding the administration of the rental of the Cibolo Community Center. Councilwoman Roberts.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted this to be brought up so the public was aware that the community center is now being available to be rented. And I know Mr. Howard did mention at a previous council meeting that he would be updating council just to let us know the process. So, because it is going to be slightly different, I believe, from just renting a training room at the annex or at fire station. So I just wanted to just kind of get a quick update as to how that's going to flow.
Mr. Reed.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. About at 2:20 p.m. today, I sent an email out to the council to help provide you the information to answer the questions posed by Ms. Roberts so that we're being very clear on how the Cibolo Community Center can be reserved for use. So the email reads, a webpage has been created to promote all three of our public facility rentals, with the focus being on the Cibolo Community Center. It includes also the City Hall Annex Meeting Room and the Fire Station 2 Training Room. All three are listed on the web page with basic intro information like fees, maximum occupancy, and so forth, and the links to the reservation system used through our platform, Revise. At this time, all reservations are online only. The Parks team and Chief Troncoso and Yvette, his executive assistant, have been made aware of this page to provide updated language as necessary, so it is up to date. The community center requests are sent to send all inquiries and rentals to the Parks team. So if it's because you can reserve any one of those three facilities. If you're asking for the Cibolo Community Center, it's sent automatically to the Parks team. If you're asking for the City Hall Annex or the meeting room at Fire Station 2, it goes to the fire department. Then that is handed off administratively to be handled. The advertising and promotion will also be included in the city's digital newsletter, beginning with the February issue, and the In Cibolo magazine for the spring 2026, the city's two marquees that we release. And so in the email, there's a graphic that if you want to promote this on your social media, push that out. And so that graphic says City Facility Rentals, and it shows pictures of those facilities. There's also another PDF, and it actually has a Scan Me, which would take you to the reservation page. So again, there's a social media graphic you can just push out on your channels if you'd like. There's a separate PDF that if you provide to others, there's a scan that takes them directly to the correct web page. And then the last item that I attached goes into more detail. I won't bother reading that to you right now, but it's a lot more detail.
Thank you.
Ms. Roberts, that answered your question?
Yes, thank you.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Reed. 11G, discussion action on the use of the Cibolo Community Center for the Sweetheart Soiree Senior Citizen Prom. Ms. Cunningham, Councilwoman Cunningham.
So first of all, I apologize for not having my act together and having an item, like an actual memo for you, so I'm sorry about that. This Sweetheart Soiree is the senior citizen prom. It is not an official city event. It is volunteer run, volunteer funded. We have had it 5 times. Last year we took the year off. Sue Boysenalt and I put this together a lot. She was the push behind the senior citizen prom, and unfortunately she passed away last year. So it's bittersweet that we're doing it again. I know that she would want us to continue it on because she says old people like to have fun. So we are moving forward with we're moving forward with the prom. What I am asking is similar to what Ms. Roberts asked at either our last meeting or the one before with the space rental. In the past, the space has always been donated again as a volunteer run event. It's very important that we don't spend money if we don't have to. And since it is a senior focused event and the community center is the senior center, it kind of makes sense to hopefully waive some fees for that. Either completely waive the fees or we can find someone who would be willing to sponsor for $50, like the one for Ms. Roberts was. So the date we're looking at is February 14th. That's a Saturday. We will be in to decorate around 9 o'clock in the morning. The actual prom is from 1 to 4, and then cleanup will be completed by 5 o'clock. There will be a DJ, there'll be a dance floor, there'll be food, all sorts of stuff. Anything that is not reusable, like tablecloths and things like that, that are still in good condition, will be left at the senior center. I need to discuss that with Stephanie and confirm, but if it's usable, in the past, we've given it to the senior center to take over to the Grange, but since they're there, we'd like to leave the decorations up, like balloons and things. I'd rather not pop them. I'll leave them there for the seniors to utilize until they're needing to take them down. The food and stuff that is left over, we end up donating to either the police or fire department or any other community organizations that have things going on that day that we can take it to. So everything is out to the community. Any leftover door prizes that we collect go to the senior center to use for bingo. Any leftover goodie bags, again, to the senior center for bingo. So we've had a lot of overwhelming community support in the past. I have been blown away by the amount of phone calls, emails, texts that I've gotten this year already. I only posted about it like a week ago and had a date TBD on the flyer just because I was worried that people would not notice if I waited too long for it. So I'm very, very excited about it this year. The theme is picnic if anyone wants to donate decorations or food or anything like that. But that is my ask. I'm not asking for anything beyond that. We are not planning on serving alcohol as of this time. I know that there are requirements that if there's alcohol served, we have to have a police officer. If that becomes a sticking point for some of the seniors, then we'll reach out and we'll follow any of the rules or requirements as a part of the rental agreement with the city. But that is my request. Yes.
Mr. Reed?
And as we get into the actual implementation of the reservation of this space, one thing I want to clarify with council as you consider this, and it would carry over to the loss of life advocates event, Lola. There's also a janitorial deposit, that's $250. There's also or a security deposit, that's $250. There's a janitorial fee, and don't quote me, it's either $75 or $50. Because a council member is asking for a flat fee and the reduction of fees, by extension, I'm imagining that this council is saying because a council member is attached to the event, we'll waive that deposit and the custodial fee. And if you disagree with me, speak up. I appreciate that Ms. Cunningham said if alcohol is being requested, then there's not a request to waive that. There would be an obligation to meet that. I think that's a good distinction. Thank you for allowing me to share this with you so that your direction is clear, so that I have the authority to tell staff what not to charge.
I think I can clear this up.
Okay.
I would like to donate the whole day in the center, the cost of the center, through my company to support the senior center so that for the rental fee for it to, and the food, and good for it. So that the city and your event is supporting the city and the city supports us. So, yeah.
Mayor, I'd like to join you in on that and help Katie out. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think.
So I guess with
I
that.
already told her I was going to help her. So.
It's so much
So
fun.
I guess I will
A
just
flat
get
fee?
are you recommending the flat fee or the full fee and just be covered
We'll
privately?
just do it like a private email.
Okay, then I'll just reach out and figure out how to fill out the paperwork with that.
Yeah. No worries.
Okay.
We got you covered.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Thank you. I do
didn't
think that
think
this
about
is a further discussion because this is now the second event that we've had. I think there was a third one that asked for it to be.
That was a community resource
Yeah, the resource
drive.
fair.
That was before it was open.
Right.
Now we're into it can actually be
Yes.
used. So
So I think that it might warrant further discussion on a future council item.
Hence the reason I offered the donation. Okay. That was 11D. No, G. Sorry. 11H. Discussion action regarding the EV charging stations to be placed in the parking lot near the pond HEB area. Councilwoman Roberts.
Thank you, Mayor. So, having EV chargers in Cibolo has come up before in front of council, and it has kind of dissolved itself. However, I do feel like I'm asking council if y'all would be okay if I went in front of the EDC board and asked for their support in placing EV chargers, because it provides economic growth. It puts us in the same playing field as Shirts, New Braunfels, even Converse has some. I mean, and how are we not going to grow if we're not going to be moving forward with some of the technology that is out there? So I would just like council's approval to go speak to the EDC board and start trying to work on getting this in place.
Councilwoman Cunningham.
Yeah, so a few years ago, we actually had a grant application for the Power Up grant, I believe it was, that the city put together and brought to council, and there were council members who were adamantly opposed to applying for chargers for whatever reason. They were going to go in the parking lot that's downtown, kind of across the street, next to the real estate company that's not utilized very often, and that would hopefully help people come downtown. They sit, they eat, they enjoy our businesses. I'm not sure why there was such an opposition to it. I, for one, am for it. I think having them at HEB, people are going to go walk around at HEB. They'll spend money in Cibolo, which is what we need. We need more sales tax. So I'm for it. I know that the Power Up grant was one that we were able to utilize for that type of thing. I don't know if, I'm sure there's other grants as well. And HEB may even be motivated to.
I did actually look up to see what other grants there were, and there are several federal grants that we could work with EDC in getting, as well as just some local state, or not local, but state grants for the cost, because they are fairly expensive.
Well, and I guess my question is the safety of the EV charging components and the maintenance, the cost, the human bandwidth, right, of the maintenance of it. I mean, we don't even have a designated NTMP person. It might be a good idea, but the execution of it might not be something we have the bandwidth or the safety capabilities, because it's my understanding that the fire issues of electric vehicles in those charging stations are slightly different or require a different kind of equipment. I mean, I'm no fireman, but
Well, all of the grants do require that anything be installed through a licensed electrician. So it's not like we're just going to go set them up out there.
yeah, I don't think that. I think that there are real issues with charging in electric vehicles and fire hazards.
There's issues putting gas in our cars. And you have more people in this community that are having electric vehicles. Why are we not supporting that?
I also think that if there are issues with charging, I am concerned, just personally, some of our neighborhoods are very squished together, and people are putting chargers on their homes because there isn't anywhere nearby to charge. So I think it may help with that safety aspect as well.
Marissa, did you want to say something?
Yeah, and I'll say EV chargers don't inherently stress the power grid, because I know that's a common misconception with them. And just to give everyone like some research data numbers for this, usually it will increase like local sales revenue between 0.8 to 1.4%. Take HEB for example. Let's say they bring in 100 million a year. That's just a kind of average after their total Texas-wide 46 billion. That's an additional 800 to 1.4 million they're bringing in. And depending on the charger that you use, those will be, so just for example, if it's a Tesla charger, Tesla services those. So they will come in, because what will happen is that charging unit will notify them that there is an issue, and they will come out and fix that.
So it's the additional fees on top of like what it costs, or like you have to then subtract like out what the cost is to the city?
Yeah, usually
I think it's more like we work with them to get them installed, and then they maintain it, they do all of that,
because
kinda
they
like our fleet.
Yeah, they want it on their map to show that people can stop there to charge. And I'll say it's right now, like that area is really good to be in between I-10 and I-35. I know a lot of people charge at home, but when we have people traveling, commuters, family visiting, they don't have that opportunity to do that. And I mean, it really is, we're pushing money over to Shirts, to Converse, or New Braunfels.
So how much would it cost us? Do you know? What on average?
So I did just a little research, and again, depending on what type of charger you're getting, which I would strongly recommend that we get a fast charger or a supercharger, only because that can usually charge a car in an hour, 30 minutes, an hour, versus the slower chargers. And you're kind of, for a port charger, it's anywhere from $450,000 to $800,000. But again, there's grants, and that's why we go talk to the EDC, because this is a business. This is going to help with economic growth. So that's why I'm asking for approval to speak to EDC.
Does our grant writer has our grant writer applied to any at all?
No, EV charging stations has not been a council priority in your strategic plan, and because of past actions, staff perceived that based upon the last action, that there wasn't support for us to spend time pursuing them. So if council tonight gives direction to go forward, we absolutely, with our grant writer, will be looking at grants that Ms. Roberts has been referring to. Absolutely.
Okay, I'd just like to make a comment real quick, because I was just trying to remember. Yes, it was brought up before about having EV parking right here downtown, and I believe that it was shut down for a couple of reasons, and specifically for that period of time, is that we were looking, I believe it was Miss Kelsey Lee who brought that, and it was a grant, and there was supposed to be some sort of a match to that. But because those spots, we always have a hard time having downtown parking, to exclusively reserve it just for EV wasn't a feasible idea. And also at that particular time, just as well, it was being reported that EV sales were going down. That necessarily hasn't changed. We noticed that gas prices are going to be going down, and people are starting to see the problems with EV vehicles. So I don't know how much more in the future we're going to see EV vehicles, but what is that going to be our return on investment? I understand that, let's say, HEB on I-35 has EV plugs. However, that is I-35. We're talking about FM 78. We're talking about our daily commuters that are going to exclusively be using these particular chargers. So it's not a quick access from I-35 where they have potential to receive people who are coming down the highway that don't even reside here, that you have additional sales for that. But literally, it's just going to be our residents or those coming to our HEB exclusively, just a small number of people that are going to be using these spots. So I think we just need to do a little bit more research on this high investment on EV vehicles. We also kind of need to see, how many people are going to be using these. I mean, is there a demand for EV vehicles what's that return on investment going to be? Because, if those who have just gasoline powered vehicles, I'm not sure if we're just doing this exclusively for just one group of people. And I don't know,
it's a big investment.
It is a huge investment.
It's a big investment. So Danetta, what you are asking specifically for your action is to, because it says discussion action regarding EV charging stations to be placed in the parking lot near the pond HEB area.
I'm asking for council to, I guess, authorize me to go speak to the EDC board and see if this is something they would be willing to
Okay.
invest in
Okay.
for the city of Cibolo.
So the agenda item reads, discussion action regarding EV charging stations to be placed in the parking lot near the pond HEB area. But you're saying the action that you want us to take is to authorize you to speak to the
EDC
thank
board.
you, EDC. So I think that is a different,
I will say that exactly how I just said it is what I sent over for to go on this agenda.
Okay.
To go to
I'm under-
EDC.
What I'm understanding is that the agenda item is to discuss putting EV stations in the parking lot near the pond or HEB area. What she's asking for is council approval for her to approach the EDC about looking into putting charging stations at the parking lot at HEB. So it's the same thing, it's just like specifically this. The item seems more general, whereas she's asking for a specific step. No, because it says discussion action.
It's okay? Okay, thank you. All right, perfect. So you want a motion to speak? I don't think you need permission. Just I want to make this
Well, because it has been an issue in the past with council,
Ah.
I wanted to make sure council was
What you were-
in agreement to going to speak to EDC to see about them potentially invest in this with us.
I see.
So I don't, if we have to take a motion or do a motion, I'm good, but I just wanted
Yes.
council's approval.
I would take a general motion, yes,
Yes.
and then state your motion more specifically.
Then I would like to make a motion to go to the next EDC board commission meeting and discuss the investment of EV chargers being placed in or around the HEB parking lot by the pond for the residents of Cibolo.
I have a motion and a second. Thank you. See ya. See you on Thursday. All right. 11I, discussion action on how the Parks Commission can be a supporting committee for recreation and events, supporting the City Council strategic plan, Councilwoman Roberts and myself. Would you like to open it up? Okay. Danetta and I had a discussion about the parks and rec and our responsibility to provide training, different types of training and opportunities for our boards and commissions. And one of the things that I had come across was that perhaps our Parks Department, our Parks and Rec Committee could be asked if they would like to be an advocate for the disability accessibility or strategic plan 4, which is quality of life, which includes inclusion. And when I talked to Ms. Roberts about it, I was saying they would be able to receive training through ACOG or specialty training programs that would allow them to take a look at our parks and our recreational spaces, as well as our community events like the Christmas tree lighting or Cibolo Summer Nights, and maybe make recommendations to staff for enhancements to provide a more inclusive environment in regard to ADA. So that was something we wanted to see what council thought about that, and then if you were happy about that, we could then take it to the Parks and Rec and ask them if that's something that they would be interested in pursuing. Of course, only if they were interested.
I support that. I also want to mention today I was at the Tri-County Chamber meeting, and a member from GVC was there, and he expressed interest in doing a 5K and things like that too. So I think that there are community partners that we could also help get over to our Parks Committee to help with these types of events that support our strategic plan.
I think it's a great idea. We should move forward with that.
Do we have an ADA coordinator within the city? No.
And being someone that is disabled, I mean, I'm all for making things more inclusive for everybody, because there's things I can't do. But, so I appreciate you bringing this forward, Mayor.
I would need a motion for Ms. Roberts and myself to be, Councilwoman Roberts and myself to be able to bring this to our Parks and Rec and look for training to bring back to get your approval before we gave it to Parks and Rec, if they so choose to accept it.
I make a motion to approve.
I can second that.
11 I. All right, so I have a motion by Ms. Cunningham and a second by Councilwoman Brown. And please vote. Okay, 11J, discussion action regarding live streaming and posting recorded public meetings, identification of responsible departments, required standards, posting timelines, and corrective actions to ensure reliable public access transparency. Mayor Latimer, if you give me 1 second, I would like to clarify the reason that I brought this to the council is because we know the importance of transparency of our meetings and making it accessible to all people. So, Mr. Beekman. Sorry.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I was presented with 4 questions to answer. The first one was, who owns this responsibility? The answer to that is city council meetings are currently recorded and broadcast by IT staff. ED and P&Z meetings are recorded and broadcast by ED and the planning staff respectively. Second question was, what standard process will be, the standard process will be for live streaming and posting videos. Council, P&Z, and ED meetings are recorded and live streamed. Council meetings are live streamed to Agenda Link, which is the system you use up front, and to YouTube. P&Z meetings, P&Z and ED meetings are only streamed via YouTube. Whenever there is an issue with the device that was responsible for streaming it, we do have the recording, and we take that and we upload it up to the system here for viewing. So to get around this issue that we're having with this one device that was being so problematic with the live stream, we did find another method. We did get an update to another component back here that allows us to actually use it for streaming to YouTube as well. So we're moving it from the problematic device to this other server, which has been much more consistent. If you go and you look at all the videos on the Agenda Link site or on our website with Agenda Link, you will always see a video there. So they've always worked. The same device that streams that video to Agenda Link, we're going to be using that to stream to YouTube. We're actually doing that tonight. So it'll be a much more consistent broadcasting to Agenda Link and to YouTube. So we anticipate it not being much of a problem anymore, to be honest. The timeline for posting recordings, if they are necessary, The city manager has made it clear that he would like all recorded video, if not live streamed, to be posted within the next 24 hours of a meeting. So we will be getting those up much quicker. The IT department and our communications department will be working together to make sure that's done timely. And the permanent fix, how will this be permanently fixed? Again, it's with the new method and the different device that we'll be going to be using for live stream to council, PZ, and ED meetings. Staff who are responsible for setting up the system to do this will be trained on the new method. There will be a written step-by-step guide that shows how to set up a meeting in this system for the live broadcast and stream. So.
Great. So one of the things I wanted to make sure is that if council is live streamed and the planning and zoning is live streamed to YouTube, will they be stored on the YouTube channel as well?
They are on the YouTube channel, yes.
Okay.
So I was asked, I have been going through our YouTube channel. We do have playlists in here. So if you take a look, we have a Waste Connections playlist, Town Hall meeting highlights, planning and zoning meetings, economic development, master plan advisory, city council meetings, the Buffalo Bites, and then HOA and neighborhood support. Those are our playlists that we have in YouTube. So if you go and click on a city council meetings here, you will see, I'm going to pause this, you will see all the meetings that are available in that playlist. If you don't want to go the playlist route, all live meetings are under this live tab right here. So anything that's broadcast live is as you can see, there's our meeting right now. It's live. So, yep, there is a delay, a little bit of a buffer delay, but you'll see it here in a moment. So everything that is live broadcast to YouTube will show up here under this live button or under this live tab. If it's a video that we've had to download and splice together because of breaks or whatever and upload, then it's going to be right here under videos. So these are the two places that all videos, P&Z, ED, council meetings will always be. I have been going through and trying to find all of the videos in YouTube that aren't actually assigned to a playlist. Still working on it. I've got quite a few moved in, but there's still more that I need to go through. If you can't find, and also at the bottom, well, this one's longer. If you have a shorter screen and it won't show up like this, sometimes you'll find at the bottom there's a little arrow to move to the next page. I was noticing that on my laptop earlier. I was like, there's a lot more videos of this. So I was to scroll down and there's a next button for more videos.
I thank you for doing that because I don't think you realize how dependent somebody like myself is on our YouTube channel. Being able to go back and recall what council's direction was or what plat was approved, whether it was final, preliminary, what the ruling was. All of those things are a critical component to the tools that we as your council actually use. And I think many people in the public also use that. So I commend you for this effort and hope to see more of this kind of access to our history being available. It is mission critical because we do not have just the many of almost all of the folks on this dais are working full-time jobs and volunteering, and so being able to go into that YouTube video, push on the settings and listen to it at 1.75 speed so that we can recall what happened is critical to us being able to actually be responsive. And so it seems like a big luxury, but it is it is absolutely mission critical for how we serve our citizens. So I appreciate you
Now,
doing
and I would also like to add that there are many who do watch the live stream at home, and many times it wasn't available on YouTube, and that they don't know how to navigate the website. They're not very savvy just yet on how to go in there. And if our website says, hey, you can click here, it's watch it live stream, and you click there and it's not on YouTube, they get quite frustrated because they don't know how to not, they want to watch YouTube on their TV and they don't want to go onto their desktop to log in and see where it is embedded on the website. And it's just been too many numerous times that also I've gotten a text from constituents or emails to say, hey, just want to let you know it's not being live streamed. And then many times it's taken more than 2 weeks to get it on. And so even I like to look at the minutes and look at my agenda, and I can't see the minutes and what actually happened in the meeting. And I like to see the P&Z meeting, and sometimes those aren't necessarily posted. So it just gets a bit frustrating. Things get delayed, and then we're just patiently waiting. Okay, they're going to get it done. It's going to get posted. And then the next meeting comes about, oh, I got to go back and watch that meeting because I got to get caught up. And it just really, it causes, I guess, a little bit of a frustration because it's not streaming when it should. It's not readily accessible by residents, by volunteers on our boards and commissions, and by our council members. So I like that y'all are taking a more proactive approach, and I'm looking forward to this new year. I know in other cities, council members go home and they just rewatch the meeting, also just to like self-critique. What could I do better? And it's just great to have that, look at that, go back, and have it accessible.
The delay is me. It's me because I get busy and forget. So full transparency there, it is me. I forget. You have to have a specialized software to kind of cut everything together, and then it's called encoding. You re-encode it specifically for YouTube, and it's me. I got busy and forgot, and then he would remind me, or somebody else would be like, hey, where's the YouTube video? I'm like, oops, so let me go get that. Moving forward, however, there is going to be a more collaborative effort to make sure that it is getting put up there in a timely manner. Jeanette's going to be helping to make sure that we are getting these videos up.
Ms. Councilwoman Patterson.
So there's some re-encoding constraints. Are there any other upload constraints with that as well? Like, are you rendering like overlays on some of this? Okay.
We don't. It's simple video.
Okay.
We just pull it from the recorded material back here. We use Premiere, so and not everybody has a license for Premiere and the encoder, Adobe encoder. So it's just me and Jeanette and maybe a couple of other folks.
Okay.
But those folks don't actually use Premiere, so they use the other suites.
Okay.
So,
No,
yeah.
our goal is just timely access to the public so that they have this, and that's why I wanted to see what constraints there were in the process from that, because I know how that is.
Time. It's just me and time. And,
What category of your strategic plan would this fall under, Mr. Reed? Transparency and communication?
I would put it under organizational excellence, your sixth strategy, although there's not like one's better than the other. So I would put it there.
So thank you. And what we could maybe do when we look at our strategic plan in the future is be more inclusive and directive with all of the outreach that we're doing through social media, through YouTube, or through any other assistance you might need for these types of issues. They are mission critical, and I appreciate you taking the time to share that with us this evening.
I was actually, if y'all have a moment, since I have the platform, I pulled up the website so I could show everybody how to get to the agenda link videos if they wanted to. But it's right here in quick links, agendas and minutes, learn more. And then, of course, here's all of our meetings that we've had or coming up live. These are the meetings for 2026. So tonight's our first meeting in 2026 that'll have a video attached. So you'll want to actually go back to 2025 and take a look. And you can see here, the last planning and zoning, they do have a video. So you can watch it here as well. So it's available on YouTube. It's available here.
The problem with watching it on this is you cannot speed it up.
Oh,
you can't speed it up.
You got to watch it all. Fair enough. Fair enough. So, but it is available if somebody wants to take the time, doesn't want to speed it up. So,
thank you.
Of course.
That's why YouTube is such a priority for me, because I know that there are many folks that go through training that we can listen to 1.75 pretty easy. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Beekman. I appreciate that and look forward to developing that bigger in the strategic plan. All right, moving on to 11K, discussion action on the appointment of a mayor pro tem for the calendar year 2026.
I would like
Mayor,
to.
I would like,
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I can go? All right, Mayor, I would like to nominate Norma Sanchez Stevens as Mayor Pro Tem. And
I would like to nominate Katie Cunningham as Mayor Pro Tem.
Okay, I need a motion and a second for the first motion, and then we'll take a vote, and then then we'll go back to the second motion. Any discussion? I have a motion. I need a second.
I'd like to second Summer's motion. Thank you, Summer. This comes really unexpected. I have actually been quite involved for the last 2.5 years. And this is not to take away anything from Ms. Cunningham, not whatsoever, because she's been on council for a lot longer. I'm just going over Summer's motion here. It would actually be an honor to help serve the mayor and to walk alongside her. And that mayor role is to be wherever she can't be. And that's something I kind of feel like I've also, just as a regular council member, and even if I'm not the mayor pro tem, it doesn't cause me to do any less. I enjoy being at events, going to additional events like beam signings and different ribbon cuttings and whatever I can make that to. That's because it just represents the city. That's what it really is about. And I know that sometimes the mayor can't make it to sometimes mayor's meetings, or I've just kind of seen by our former mayor the things that they could or could not make, and where the mayor pro tem role was very critical. And I know even not too far in the distant past, Congressman Cuellar came and he was seeking, former Mayor Allen was out of town for EDC event, and we had to discuss the patrol vehicle situation. And then the Mayor Pro Tem was not available, and they had my number, and they called, said, "Can you be there?" And I was like, I would love to be there. So it's just about availability just as well. And not to say that, we all have to have the same amount of availability, but it would be an honor to serve in that capacity, because I realize that the mayor would need someone strong. And whoever that is, I would just say encourage and say, just support our mayor. Support our mayor wherever she needs that, whether that's at gender reviews, show up at ribbon cutting, show up at different events, and just be there to help represent our city well, because I think it takes both of those positions. And I think really, honestly, anybody here on the dais could probably do that. But I just wanted to say thank you for that nomination. And
well, less than 12 hours ago, I was a resident. And anytime I would go to any events, Norma has always been there. Councilwoman Sanchez has always been there. I respect her leadership, and I respect her being present at those events. And anytime as a resident, if I had anything that I needed to, any concerns, I was able to call you, and I received a response. And that's important to our residents, that you are available and you can be there. So I nominated you for that reason.
Any further discussion? All right, we'll take it to a vote. I guess. Sorry. I don't know why I did that. All right. I had a motion from Ms. Councilwoman Roberts. Second. I have a motion and a second. Any discussion, or can we go to vote? Okay. All right, moving on to 11L. Discussion from council members that have attended seminars, events, or meetings. Mm-hmm.
I'd just like to thank the council members that were able to come out to the T7 unveiling. Big day for the Air Force, so it's great to see all of y'all out there with some of our other civic leaders and former elected officials. Chief, I'd like to thank Officer Pillar for a quick ride along the other week. Unfortunately, I got a little car sick, so I don't want to, do anything in the car that couldn't be undone, so we ended it a little quickly. And then, Mr. Gomez, thank you for taking the time to walk Public Works with me a couple weeks ago. Appreciate it.
Mr. Robert.
I just attended the Parks and Recs committee meeting and the NET luncheon.
Oh, wonderful. I saw you. Councilwoman Cunningham?
So today I went to the Tri-County Chamber meeting. There's a lot of opportunities there. As I mentioned earlier, their GVEC has a community liaison. I don't remember his title. It's on that card. But he is wanting to do some events in Cibolo, and he's got funding for that. He also has there's a program where GVEC will send youth to this youth summit in DC, and it talks about like electrical co-ops and how they run like as a government, as a municipal agency. He has a cutoff of tomorrow, so short notice, but if you have any kids that you know who are interested, his name's Jeff Kerlick, and I can give you his card. But they pay for that. It's in DC. I believe it's in June, but he has to know ahead of time who's going to go. But that's the first time I have kids, and this is the first time I've ever heard of it. So I thought that was a really great opportunity. The Tri-County's also having their golf tournament. I don't golf, but if you do, that's a great opportunity to get out and support the community. Youth Council had a meeting last week. They had at Cibolo, or not at Cibolo Fest, at the December holiday market, they had a booth for a bake sale. They raised a little over $900, which is amazing. They're going to the Youth Summit at the end of this month. I'll be going. Mr. Huggins is going, and he's bringing on his wife as backup for all the kids that are going to the Youth Summit. It'll be in Cedar Hill, which is right outside of Dallas, on the 30th, 31st, and 1st of January. So January 30th through February 1st. Okay. So 2 days really. And I believe there's 10 kids. Is that right, Peggy? 10 kids that are going out of the Youth Council of 20. So that's a pretty good amount. So that's exciting. MLK, the Guadalupe County MLK group, has a lot of events happening over MLK weekend, starting on Thursday the 17th through Monday the 19th. They have a dinner that was really good last year. It was very tasty, barbecue. They have a walk on Monday as long as weather permits. But they have a Facebook page, and they also have a website if you're interested in those events. Valentine's Drive, there is a Valentine's Drive for the Senior Center. I learned about it at the Tri-County Chamber, but they're collecting like Valentine cards that you're writing to the seniors, little treats and little small gifts. They're collecting them the week of Valentine's Day. You can drop them off at the Senior Center. So if anyone's interested in participating in that, then that's an opportunity for even kids to make Valentine's cards and stuff. So, one more thing. Sorry. In November, a local teen completed suicide, and her mom has been organizing some trainings in the community for response to mental health situations and similar things. She had calm training held in Shirts last week. I was not able to make that, but I've spoken with her, and I would like to try to get that training brought here where we either get the space or whatever, but there's a group that gives that training. There's also mental health first aid. There's also assist. There is trauma-informed care. There's a lot of different trainings that we can bring to the city, but she is now she always has been, Mom has always been a fierce advocate for mental health, but now she's really wanting to get that information out into our community since it's very recent, it's very personal, and it's a very big loss. So.
Thank you. I went to the T7 event, and it was very exciting to know that we were the first Air Force base to receive that aircraft, and the future's looking bright for JBSA. I also will be attending training at the end of this month in Houston with a group called Stevens Ministries, specifically for going alongside persons whose loved ones have committed that tragic action. So and then I also did go earlier in this month to the very exciting training for the financial planning, which, wow. And that's it. Ms. Sanchez-Stevens?
Yes. So also attended the JBSA ceremony to receive the T7, right? They're retiring the T38s, and got to hear just a great speech from the Boeing BP that was there and attended. It was very well celebrated by the surrounding mayors around the city, other elected officials. Just great seeing the military staff there, and a lot of the generals went ahead, and so it was just a really great community event to have attended, and also was able to go to the NEP meeting just as well. And University Hospital spoke just in general of just where the hospital, how many hospitals have been opening, how many beds are going to be in our local area. Although it was just a presentation generalized to University Hospital and how they are growing, I would really have liked to have heard more about the local hospital that they're building in Selma. But still, either way, just excited to have that coming along, and it's coming along very well. And also, I let's not forget that this past weekend there was a celebration of life for one of our public works, and was able to attend that, and to also just kind of be helping hands and serving the food, especially during a critical time where the family was grieving. And it was just wonderful to hear from, friends and family from that staff member. And it was just really nice to celebrate alongside his life with staff themselves who knew him more closely and personally, and just got to hear who he was in just everyday life. So appreciated doing that, and just attending the short service just as well, funeral service. And later on that particular event, also was invited to a Bar Y event at Mikulski Hall that benefited the FFA, and just a lot of auction items, raffle items, and just that benefits local youth, community youth. So that was a fun event. And also just wanted to piggyback on that. Yeah, the MLK event, Guadalupe County MLK event, is going to be happening starting on the 15th. And it goes from a series of maybe a book reading at a library, a banquet on Saturday, the march on Monday. And so highly encourage the community to come out and really take part of it. I know San Antonio does a very big event, but I don't think most people realize that Guadalupe County actually has our own event. So I would like to encourage everyone to celebrate. It's not just a day off. There's a reason why we have that time off, and that's really to reflect on how far our country has come. Thank you.
Thank you. So I also was at the celebration of life and the afterwards. And yeah, that was, for those that knew Armando, it was hard. It's hard. But I went to the NEP lunch as well. And what else did I do? Was at the Parks and Recs committee. There's some good ideas coming out of the Parks and Recs. So yeah, I'd love to see them be able to continue growing, as well as we had CRWA Board of Trustees meeting last night, and then we have a budget meeting tomorrow. So that's really it for now. Oh, no, on the CRWA side, Mr. Reed and Mr. Huggins are trying, and Mr. Gomez are trying to set up a meeting because our consultant had some concerns from our meeting that we had yesterday that he wants to discuss with Cibolo.
I had the awesome opportunity to attend the NEP luncheon as well. It was really nice to see all the other elected officials and business owners. That was really a really nice networking event. I also attended the T7 recommissioning ceremony at Randolph Air Force Base. The ribbon cutting ceremony at Crust Pizza was really nice as well. I went back that night too, and they were really happy to see me. Also, all those ladies in red that you saw out here, that's my sorority, and we will be attending the New Braunfels MLK March too. It'd be nice to see some of y'all out there as well.
Great, thank you. And I just want to say I did not win anything at the raffle at the Y Bar, so bummer sauce for me. Okay, moving on to 11M, discussion on items the city council would like to see on future agendas. You know, you can always submit them to Ms. Simics the Monday by 8:30 in the morning prior to the Wednesday of posting. Okay. Anything? Moving on to 11N, discussion action on the review and confirmation of all upcoming special meetings and workshops and scheduling the time, date, and place of additional meetings, special meetings, or workshops. Ms. Simmons.
The only addition we have to the calendar is in February. We did place a Board of Adjustment meeting on the 5th of February. And so we'll send you a new February calendar.
It shows that we have a youth council meeting that day?
Yes, we'll have 2 meetings. We'll have one in another room.
Oh, okay.
But we will have both meetings.
Okay.
Is that all?
Yes, ma'am, that's all.
Thank you. All right, then 12, ordinance 12A, disapproval of an ordinance providing for the first budget amendment for the fiscal year 2025-26. Ms. Miranda.
Good evening again, Mayor and City Council. She disappeared. The mayor's gone. This ordinance authorizes the first budget amendment of fiscal year 2026. The budget amendment will increase funding across 14 funds by a roll forward of fiscal year 25 unspent funds for projects that crossed fiscal years. So expenditures in each fund are being increased by remaining balances of purchase orders that were initiated and funded in fiscal year 25, but not completed by the end of the fiscal year, and for amounts that were appropriated in fiscal year 25, but not fully spent. So it's savings in fiscal year 25 on unspent expenditures being rolled forward to increase our fiscal year 26 budget. We're also increasing expenditures in the grant fund for new grants that were awarded in September 2025 but had not been incorporated into the budget at that time. Fund balance in each of the funds is not significantly altered by the amendment because generally savings from the reduced expenditures in fiscal year 25 cover the increased expenditures in fiscal year 26. If City Council would like to go through each fund in detail or has questions specific to any of the funds, I can oblige that. Otherwise, a motion may be made.
Motion to approve 12A.
Do you have any questions?
Any?
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay. At the beginning of the meeting, we discussed item 14A, and we agreed not have this discussion under council's direction and the request of the business owner. If there is no objection, we move on to 16.
Motion to adjourn.
I have a motion to adjourn in a second. All in favor? All right, we are adjourned.